Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Story Times with Morales. My name's Christian. This week I saw a post about a kid who made $10,000 selling candy in his high school. Now, that started making me reminisce about the time that I started the same venture of selling candy. Okay, but before I get into all the details, let me give you a bit of a background of how I ended up selling candy in high school. Okay, now back in those days, which is all 506. I started out as a freshman, and it was started talking to more girls. Right, this is not the same girls that from my first experience back in elementary school. No, I was more mature. I knew a little bit more, and I started asking girls out to dates. Right, and we're going on dates, and it was always, hey, where do you want to go? Let's go to the movies. Now I got to that step, but my second step was, how the hell am I gonna pay for it? I didn't have a job. I didn't have money to where my parents weren't rich. So I always had to go ahead and ask my parents, hey, can I borrow or can I have $40? $40, $60? Why? Well, where are you going? Well, cine. Well, I'm gonna go to the movies and I'm gonna date. And can you pick me up or can you take me there, right? And ended up happening that at some point my parents got fed up, and I can understand why. Hey, you're always asking for shit. When are you gonna start getting your own job? And I do have two older brothers. My older brother is about 8 years apart from me, and my second brother is 5 years apart from me. So when I hit 16, my older brother was 23, 24, and my second brother was 21. Okay, and it was crazy, right? Because all I can hear from them, from my parents, was, well, at your age, he was doing this. At your age, they were doing that, and I hated it. I hated the fact that I was being compared to them, because it's like, hey, they're different people, right? We're all different people. We're all go through our steps in life differently. Okay, now, yes, you're right. You could all agree with my parents and say, well, why didn't you go get a job, you lazy bastard? I told you why. Again, I wasn't born here. I wasn't born in the States, right? So going to get a job was difficult, because, as you guys know, you guys have your socials, you guys had your IDs, you guys could do all those things and not be afraid to lose your job, right? So in high school, I ended up getting fake IDs. Okay, fake ID, fake social, everything to match me. Okay, now I don't know whose social I was using at that time. I don't know if the person was that. I don't know where they were getting these numbers from, or it was just randomized numbers out of a hat, and bam, hopefully it works, right? I remember Bishop and Maine. That's where you used to go get the fake IDs. Now I remember one particular, okay, because I did apply to a lot, but the one that hurt me the most was I went to McDonald's. Okay, we went to McDonald's. It was a group. It was like a group interview. Me and two friends. We go there, and it's my turn to go in to get interviewed. Now this manager guy, he goes, hey, you have your documentation, your two forms of IDs. And I'm like, yeah, here they are. And I had my ID looked so pristine, like it never been it never seen the sun or anything, like a box. Now you will see your old socials, and they will be crippled or ripped apart because it's been stored for so long. But mine looked fucking new. So what I was doing before getting to that interview was, I was folding it back and forth, back, forwards, on the side, whip it a little bit, wet a little bit, so it looks old. I'm trying to age it in like 15 minutes to 15 years. And the guy looks at my ID, looks at my social, and he goes like this, he like stares, and he goes, these are fake. I can't interview you. I was like, whoa. Wow. Inside, I'm thinking, wow, this guy's really good at what he does, right? This guy doesn't deserve to be at McDonald's. He literally knows what a fake ID looks like. But outside, I'm pissed. You would think that would be reversed, right? But no, I was pissed outside. I was like, are you kidding me? You're not gonna interview me because you're judging my two forms of ID? He goes, yeah, they're fake, man. I'm like, bro, the lady that's taking the orders doesn't speak English. And yet, me and you are having a perfectly fine conversation in English where I can tell you and comprehend what you're saying. Yet, you're not going to interview me? How did she get the job? So, in this point, I'm thinking, if I can't have the job, none of these fuckers that are not from here cannot get the job. I ended up leaving, right? My friends got the job. So, I'm thinking, how am I going to get to this, right? I need to start making some some changes. I need some funds to go in for me so I can go on more dates, so I can impress the girls, right? So I can go ahead and if I have a girlfriend, I'm able to take her to nice places. So I remember a story that my brother had told me that when he was in elementary, he was selling lollipops, right? Ice cubes. On ice cubes, who sells fucking ice? You know, hey, here's an ice cube. Who needs ice cube? Hey, is your soda out of ice? He was selling ice pops. Okay, so and he was doing pretty well. Now, I don't remember. I don't know if it was part of the school that he was selling or if he was selling on his own. Regardless of the case, he was selling some stuff in school where it will help him get stuff, will get money to be around, right? To be able to do stuff. So I figured, hey, why don't I go ahead and sell candy? Now, throughout this time, I was doing soccer and I was doing boxing, so I was in sports. In soccer, we were being sponsored by Adidas, so they gave us like a big Adidas sports bag. I'm thinking, I can take that, I can use that. Well, how much candy can I fit in there? And it matches the school's sports bags that they get. So nobody will question my bag. Nobody will go ahead and go, teachers, right? Superintendents will be like, hey, what's in that bag? They will think I'm in sports. Now, I borrowed a small loan of $100 from my parents. I asked for $1 million. They said no. I was like, oh, fine, I'll take the 100. Okay. So I went to the candy store. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys which candy store I went to because I'm not here to promote no one, because I'm not getting paid to tell you guys which candy store I'm promoting. So I went to the candy store and I ended up getting $100 worth of candy, right? Lo que es rocaletas, lo que son mazapanes, the pulparindos, the red boxes and the yellow boxes, the dedos, the Lucas bags. Ended up getting duvalines. So $100 worth of candy, right? And I'm thinking, okay, now that I have the candy, what's my next step? How do I promote myself? So I ended up telling all my friends around in my lunch area, hey, I got some candy. You guys want to buy some? And none of my prices I was not expensive. Now, I knew that the market of selling stuff in school wasn't as clutter as I wanted it to be. Now, if I were to be selling like some fucking drugs, yeah, that's a overcrowded fucking market in high school. You knew who was selling the good stuff. You knew who was selling the bad stuff. You knew who was selling some shit. So I figured nobody's selling candy here. So if I can target the people that are buying the drugs, they're gonna be hungry. Munchies, right? And I started doing the research before I sold the candy. I figured, how often am I hungry? Where am I hungry? What part of the day I'm hungry? So I figured that early in the morning, people are not gonna be hungry. They just ate their breakfast. But that's 40 minutes of the first period, right? So by second and third, but between second and fourth period, that's when the hunger strike, right? That's when people are gonna end up going to the bathroom. I see people going to the vending machines and coming back with chips. I figured that's a point where I'm gonna start selling. Now, anything after lunch, it's gonna go slow, right? Because again, they just ate. But with 6 and 7, they're already hungry again, and we're growing people. So I did all my research, and one day, like I said, my parents let me borrow $100. I ended up going to the candy store, and I ended up promoting it. My friends go ahead, and all of a sudden, all these people start coming in class. Yeah, you got candy? Yeah. What do you want? And I started selling candy quick. Boom. First week off the bat, I ended up making about $300. Now, $300 today, for you would say, well, shit. So what? $300 when I'm 16. I'm not able to work, and I'm able to go out and not ask my parents back money. That's great, right? So I ended up investing more, right? And I buy more. Now teachers started catching up, like, hey, what do you have in that bag, right? And I was like, nothing. Don't worry about it. Because teachers started telling me, hey, give us free candy, or we're gonna rat on you. And I was like, fine, here you go. I just gave them candy every time they let me have them. It's like paying them off, right? Now I wasn't asking for good grades. I'm just asking, hey, don't fucking snitch on me, and you can have candy. I won't charge you anything. I won't charge you the 75 cents for a lollipop. So that opened up a market, right? I started seeing 2-3 other kids selling candies, but they have like this little lunch piece of shit of a box. And I'm like, all right, cositas. One guy came up to me and he's like, hey, I'm not selling. I'm like, well, how much you want? All right, I ended up buying his stash full of candy. I was stealing everybody's candy. I'm like, I'll sell it and I'll buy it and I'll sell it. Okay. Now, this is where I started figuring out how women, okay, Some of them are gold diggers. I figured that this is where I learned that we're gold diggers. And then I'm coming up, girls ended up coming up towards me, and it was like, "Hi, Christian, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey, what's up? You know, how may I help you today?" He goes, "I heard you got some candy." I was like, "Yeah, I got the candy stick." He's like, "No." I was like, oh, yeah, I got candy. I got some candy, and ended up happening is like, well, they buy some candy and they'll go, "Well, I don't have any money. How can I repay you?" I was like, I seen this before. I seen this shit before. And I was like, well, you know, let me have your number. I ended up getting their numbers, right? So girls will pay me with their numbers. There was this African American guy, pretty cool, and he come up to me all the time and he go, "Hey, what's up, Candy Man?" And well, what's up? And he go, "You know, you got the good stuff, right?" And I ended up being known as the Candy Man. Now, there's people still to this day that do not know my name and only know me as Candyman, which is crazy, right? Because it's like I've been going into school for like the last 2 years, and it's okay, you know. Here's my name. No, how my venture came to an end? Because at some point I was making $500 a week just out of candy. I became too hot. I believe I was way too hot, and I became a target. One day in lunch, I told my friends at the table, "Hey, can you take care of the bag? I'm gonna go eat something to eat because I'm hungry, right?" So me and this girl, we will go to the line. And when I came back, my bag was gone. It was gone. I was like, "Yo, did you guys hide it? Where is it at?" And they're like, "Oh shit, we weren't even paying attention." So somebody ended up coming up with my bag. Now, I don't know who. Do I know if they were part of it? I don't know. Maybe they were. But at the same time, I was a bit relieved that somebody took it. Because again, like I said, I became a target. I became this target where if I would have a lot of money in my bag, something bad would happen to me. Now, something bad happens to me, I would have been hurt a lot, you know? And I was, like I said, I was relieved. You know, now looking at this kid, I'm thinking, this kid is doing it right. He hired other people. He expanded his empire, right? He told someone else, "Hey, you sell this, and that way, if he gets robbed or whatever, see, they're still making money." Now, that was my high school adventure of selling candy, right? But I really did think that I was this whole Don Perignon in high school selling candy and shit. Now, all these women, like I said, this is where I figured they were gold diggers. Remember those girls that told me that they didn't have no money and that they would give me their numbers and they would go out with me or do stuff with me? They never hit me up again after I had no more candy. They had nothing. They want nothing to do with me. There's a tear down the eye because, you know, like I said, I felt like I was cool. Now, after that, it also got me thinking, right? When I started reminiscing that story, it got me thinking how, you know, when you're in college, right, you start looking for some type of job to start paying for stuff on your own. Because now, you know, in high school, you still depend on your parents, right? Even if this business venture, your parents will get mad at you, but they will still help you out. When you're in college, they don't. And it got me thinking how there's things called pyramid schemes. Now, I know you guys have heard of them, and if you guys are lying to me that you guys never seen or been part of them, you guys are lying. And I know because I've been in some of them. Now, I remember this girl came up, you know, she was a good friend of mine, and she came up to me and said, "Hey, Christian, you want to go over and see this show, this presentation? It'll help you grow in life." I'm like, "Sure, why not?" He goes, "Yeah, you know." I'm like, "What is this about?" We go, "Oh, well, we gotta go, you know, they're selling a product." I'm like, "Huh, what type of product?" She goes, "So have you ever heard of Herbalife?" I'm like, yeah, I've heard about it. I don't use it. I don't, you know, but I know who they use it, what they use it for." He goes, "Yeah, well, let's go. I can't give you too many details. Just go to the presentation." We go to the presentation, right? It's literally like a whole auditorium. And some guy comes up, and by God, why do they always end up with music and lights? "Hey, everybody, how you guys all been?" Right? And then they look at you, but then they start judging you, right? Then they're going, "Y'all want to be broke for the rest of your life?" Because that's what you guys are right now. I literally looked at him, and I'm like, whoa. I hurt. This fucking don't know shit about me, but he's telling me I'm broke already. And he goes, "How old are you guys here? What, 18, 19, 20 years old? I'm 26. Have a 6-figure salary. You guys can be me. I was like, wow, 26 and a 6-figure salary. I want to know how he got there, right? So it got me thinking. I'm not convinced yet. I'm just laughing because the fact that he's all like, you want to be like me, here's what you got to do. He goes, look at me, and he shows a picture. He shows a picture of like a fucking street lamp. He goes, you see, this is the street I grew up in. This street right here. We used to hang out in the street, and I knew people that were doing drugs in this. But you know what? I figured I'm gonna get myself out. And I'm like, okay. But at this point, I'm like ready to leave, right? He goes, you can travel the world with Herbalife. All you guys gotta do is you guys put a down payment of $200, right, to buy the products. You buy this product, you sell the product. Okay, but within that same time, you end up getting 3 friends. Now those 3 friends will sell something for you. They make money, you make money. It's a fucking win. And I'm like, that sounds like a pyramid scheme. So this whole presentation is about Herbalife, or how I can go ahead and sell it to people. And they come up to me and goes, so my friends, I guess he was friends with the guy that's presenting. And he goes, so what do you think, man? I was like, I think it's a pyramid scheme. He goes, oh, no. We're not a pyramid scheme. What we are is we're entrepreneurs. So we're trying to build our own businesses. I'm like, well, you can't start your own business if you're already selling a product that's already been created. And he's like, oh, wow, you're smart. See, I would like to have you. I'm like, no, you're not going to have me. I'm not going to fall for this. So the moral of the story is, do not fall for pyramid schemes, okay? They are crazy. They will tell you you're broke for the rest of your life, and that you would have that you're going to be 6 feet tall with a model of a wife and a Ferrari. You know, I would take the Ferrari. I really do. I would take a Ferrari. But no, I would not do it selling Herbalife. Shit, even if it makes me travel the world, I wouldn't even go ahead and buy Herbalife. And you know what? Because I can't travel. I don't have a passport. I can't go anywhere. But again, like I said, it's just venture, right? It's just, that's what it is. You can't be afraid to take chances. I took a chance selling candy in high school. Okay, I took a chance knowing well that, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And same thing goes for this, for my YouTube venture here. I love doing this. I love sharing stories with you guys. I love people coming up and be like, hey, what are you gonna talk about this week? Again, and I love sharing stories with you guys. Again, if you guys do have like a stories you guys want to share, hey, please comment down below. Okay, tell me of a time that you guys took out a venture, took out on a risk for doing anything. If it worked, great. I want to know how it worked. What you ended up doing. If it didn't work, hey, what did you learn from it, right? All those things. Look, I learned one thing and I learned it. People, we're not perfect. Because if we were all perfect, me and you, or us, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So please, comment down below. Please subscribe and like. And hey, do me a big favor, guys. Down below, I'm going to put a link down to my good friend's Kristy account. She has great content. And you know, she's just trying to figure out life as how everyone is. So please tell her that I sent you. And enjoy the life. All right, enjoy the video. Please subscribe and like. Thank you, guys.